So, technical producer, what did you think of the festival this year?
I was hoping to get it.
Anything to say to the YouTube crowd? Pull a Will Shatner.
Live.
There you go.
That's what I was thinking, because they're still old school downtown that we could use for that.
All right, coming up next, we have a short film called The Chore by Mike Roberts.
This was just a short we threw together for a YouTube contest originally. I don't even remember the name of it now, but it had to do with The Wrestler when it came out.
Well, I don't know what they're still doing, if they're still doing anything with it, but they were trying.
So what I really like to do is if anybody has a question, we can lift the parachute up and you have to go underneath it in order to ask your question.
Wow.
Who's willing to commit to this death-defying activity? Anyone? Or if you'd just like to ask a question, then we can sit up here and just ruffle the parachute while we do it. What works really well is if we coordinate it and like we go up on 3. And then 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
This is very beneficial for everybody else.
Well, so somebody said wow out there. So that's even better than the movie, right?
Okay, coming up next, we have several short films that are going to be shown back to back to back. First is one called Homo Sapien, which,
So, how do you think the festival went?
I think it went pretty good.
So, does anybody have a question?
What started this movie? I mean,
Okay, that's an easy question to answer. Well, we started making videos in Wilmington, and we just wanted to see if we could make one that was as long as a real movie. And we got together and talked about what we wanted to be about. We thought the only possible plot would be about us trying to make Back to the Future Part 4. And so, you know, like a couple days a week, we just started shooting it, and eventually it was done. So that's where we are now.
If anybody was here back when this was still the Independent Filmmakers Conference, we actually showed one of the Jersey Jones shorts. And what I'm doing with those right now is taking the original 2 shorts we did and re-editing everything to make it a 5-episode series. Because we actually had that much footage.
Not quite as many people as last year, but
Yeah.
you win some, you lose some.
Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God!
how long did it take to make the movie?
It took about 6 months. Anybody else?
And then 5 Minutes Till was actually our entry into last year's Final Cut Film Festival.
Let's try one where we lift it up and let it go and see how high it flies. All right. Do you think that's possible? Do you think anything will happen? Light for it? Nah. Who cares? 1, 2, 3. Oh. That's kind of terrifying.
Everyone else?
Questions?
So the thing about Einstein's quote there,
Yeah.
we're talking about quantum physics.
Right.
So is that what you're saying there? So you have 2 different scenes with the street preacher. One where he's preaching, the other one where he's just not saying anything. So that's what you parallel with that quote.
Yeah, it turned out to be kind of unintentional, actually.
Okay, but that actually turned out really well.
It did, because that wasn't in the original idea, and we'd come up with the idea for the quote as we were editing, and I wanted to break up the straight moments of him talking, because especially after the first block, like there was 2 more that would come, and it just started getting a little monotonous after a while. So I had all this. I have a tendency as a cinematographer to run way too long. I'll start rolling like 5 to 10 minutes before we actually start officially shooting the scene. So I have all this extra footage by the time I'm done. And I just had all these moments where he's kind of getting himself in the mood. And I started looking through a lot of that, and there were these great moments, which is the stuff that I intercut with, where he's not actually saying anything. It just makes him look a little more insane. It gives that little parallel feel. And it wasn't until I was editing that together and thought about the
Sometimes accidental genius is the only genius we have. I know that that's my case most of the time. Okay, coming up next we have 2 shorts by Jay Tyson. What is y'all's ultimate plan for the movie?
Well, our ultimate plan for the movie is just to get people to watch it, and you know, we've been doing that for about a year now, and we started working last weekend on our next movie, which is called America Town. And you can learn about that at americatownthemovie.com. It's going to be a little bit different than this. It's going to take place all over America. We're packing up the van June 21st, and we're driving all over America and shooting. It's going to be about one town where everything in the town, 1, 2, 3, is in America. Like the Statue of Liberty and the Grand Canyon are 1 block away from each other.
Watch the Channel 9 news at 6.
Yeah, Channel 9.
Channel 9 News at 6.
Yep. Were they here?
Yeah.
Just tell us a little something about it.
Okay, well, the first one was a competition that they had in California for Doctor Who, for those of you who recognize that it was Doctor Who. So we weren't able to show it in that competition because we found out after we did the film that you had to be a resident of California in order to enter the competition, which wasn't in the actual rules. It was somewhere buried down underneath behind a goat, and you couldn't find it until you looked for it. So anyway, so we had the film, we figured, well, we haven't been able to show it, so we thought we would show it here. And the second one is one that we're working on. We're almost finished with it. Some of the visual effects are a little rough, but it's coming along.
Anything you want, you can go to Superkiiids. That's how you can say it any way you want, really, but as long as you put 3 I's in there, that's the important thing. Superkiiids. My mom says Superkiids. That's easy for her to say. But superkiiids.com, which is Superkiids with 3 I's. That's all there. It's all on YouTube if you want to see a trailer. We also have shorts. There's one called Bust Out that is also played in a lot of festivals. That's way easy to watch that you should check out. And if anybody is out of their minds enough to actually want a copy of the movie, you can buy one there too.
Does anybody have any questions for Jay? Yes.
Who was the narrator in the first film?
Yes, she is. Her name is D.B. Cooper. She's a narrator for a lot of games, and she does a lot of narrator for games like PlayStation games and Xbox. So she's actually wonderful. I met her through a friend of mine, the guy that we had at the end that said special thanks to David Nagel. He's a British guy who does a lot of Doctor Who fan films, and he's used her before. And when we were looking for a narrator, he said, well, why don't you try her? She's an American, and she's closer to you. And so she sent us a reel, and she was fantastic. She was really wonderful. I don't think the piece would have been the same without her.
Had 3 people from 12 here. Me, Darren, the one that did the Red, White, and Goo. Red, Wet, and Goo.
Oh yeah, we messed up.
You're gonna keep doing that, aren't you?
Can we just take it and walk it over and put it on top of the people who
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir.
Big guy with the Channel 12 t-shirt.
All right, now let's lift it up on him. 1, 2, 3. Supposedly, Zemeckis teaches a class at USC, and we know somebody who works with him, and we gave them the movie, but we haven't heard anything about it, so I don't know. Okay, is everybody still alive? Anybody suffocate? No?
Wait, he was with Channel 12? Damn!
All right, well, thank you guys so much for coming out to the film. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for showing it.
Yeah, thank you. And Newbert, I'm